The Aged Mother. Long, long ago there lived at the foot of a mountain a poor farmer and his aged, widowed mother. They owned a bit of land which supplied them with food, and they were humble, peaceful and happy. Their land was governed by a cruel leader who, though a warrior, had a great dislike for anything of failing health and strength. This caused him to send out a cruel proclamation. The entire province was given strict orders to immediately put to death all aged people. In those days, the cruel custom of abandoning old people to die was not uncommon. The poor farmer loved his aged mother with tender reverence, and the order filled his heart with sorrow. But no one ever thought about disobeying the order of the governor. So, with many deep and hopeless sighs, the youth prepared for what at that time was considered the kindest mode of death. Just at sundown, when his day's work ended, he took a quantity of unwhitened rice, which was the principal food for the poor, and he cooked, dried it, and tied it in a square cloth, which he swung in a bundle around his neck, along with a gourd filled with cool, sweet water. Then he lifted his helpless old mother to his back and started on his painful journey up the mountain. The road was long and steep. The narrow road was crossed and recrossed by many paths made by the hunter and woodcutter. He climbed blindly upward to reach the summit of the mountain known as the Abandoning of the Aged. The eyes of the old mother were not so dim, and they noted the reckless climb of her son from one path to another. Her loving heart grew anxious. Her son did not know the mountain's many paths, and his return might be one of danger, so she stretched forth her hand, and snapping the twigs from bushes as they passed, she quietly dropped the handful every few steps of the way, so that as they climbed, the narrow path behind them was dotted at frequent intervals with tiny piles of twigs. At last the summit was reached. Weary and sad, the youth gently put his dear mother down and silently prepared a place of comfort at his last duty to the loved one. Gathering fallen pine needle, he made a soft cushion and tenderly lifted his old mother onto it. He wrapped her padded coat more closely about her stooping shoulders, and with tearful eyes and an aching heart, he said farewell. The trembling mother's voice was full of unselfish love as she gave her last advice. She said, "Let not thine eyes be blinded, my son. The mountain road is full of dangers. Look carefully and follow the path which holds the piles of twigs. They will guide you to the familiar path further down." The son's surprised eyes looked back over the path, then at the poor old, shriveled hands all scratched and soiled by her attempt to gather twigs. His heart broke within, and bowing to the ground, he cried aloud, "O mother, your kindness breaks my heart. I will not leave you. Together we will follow the path of twigs, and together we will die." Once more he carried his mother and hastened down the path, through the shadows and the moonlight, to the little hut in the valley. Beneath the kitchen floor was a walled closet for food, which was covered and hidden from view. The son hid his mother there, supplying her with everything she needed, continually watching and fearing she would be discovered. Time passed, and he was beginning to feel safe, when again the governor sent forth to all the unreasonable order to show off his power. His demand was that his subjects should present him with a rope of ashes. The entire province trembled with dread. The order must be obeyed, yet who in the whole land could make a rope of ashes? One night, in great distress, the son whispered the news to his hidden mother. "Wait," she said, I'll think." On the second day she told him what to do. "Make a rope of twisted straw," she said. then stretch it upon a row of flat stone and burn it on windless night. He called the people together and did as she said, and when the blaze died down, thereupon the stones, with every twist and fibre showing perfectly, lay a rope of ashes. The governor was pleased at the wit of the youth and praised him greatly, but he demanded to know where he had obtained his wisdom. Alas, alas, cried the farmer. The truth must be told, and with deep bows he related his story. The governor listened and then thought deeply in silence. Finally, he lifted his head. My land needs more of that strength of youth, he said gravely. Ah, well, I should have forgotten the well-known saying, with the crown of snow there comes wisdom. That very hour the cruel law was abolished and the cruel custom drifted into a far past. It remains only as a legend now.